Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back. We're going to be doing a quick run through the Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj. I was debating whether we should do this or not, because it's just as simple. Originally it was a 20-man raid, now it's just a 10-man. But I figured just for the sake of trying to get all the content out there, we would go for it. This would be actually where you would start off your raid and your run to Ahn'Qiraj. You would start here, kind of start to gear up, and then you would run into AQ40. AQ40 was meant to be originally the next step after Blackwing Lair, but they kind of added this 20-man version just to kind of help with the learning curve, or the gear curve, so that it would help players get into it a little bit quicker if they hadn't been through Blackwing Lair originally. Now, my warrior, who I would typically do this on, is on cooldown for this run, so we're going to take my shaman in just to kind of check it out. Now, as you can see, just from the map here, this place itself is pretty big. Not nearly as big as AQ40 was, but it still takes a while to get around. Luckily, we still can mount up. However, it is worth mentioning that your Qiraji battle tanks that you get or may have gotten from AQ40 will not work in here, so you'll have to just use your regular mounts to kind of go through here, but a mount's a mount, I suppose. Lots of trash in here with a pretty wide aggro range, so just kind of for stepping fairly close to a lot of these bugs, you'll pick up aggro on a lot of them, which obviously isn't a problem. It's just more time consuming than anything else. Same system for gearing up and getting any of the tier pieces that you can pick up quests for outside. There was those 3 members of the Cenarian Circle out in front. They'll give you a ring, a cloak, and a weapon that are class specific, and they do have a rep requirement. So as you gain rep for Cenarian Circle in here, you will be able to get those if you so desire. And the weapons do look different for each class. There's like a dagger for rogues, an axe for warriors, mace for like paladins and shamans and things like that. Now the boss count in here is a lot smaller than AQ40. Mechanic wise, there's only 1 or 2 bosses that will give you a little bit of trouble if you're slow on killing them. But typically everything is just very straightforward, very just tank and spank in here. So as you can see, first boss goes down super quick. No complications. It is worth noting that on this boss in particular, if you are here and your DPS is low and you're not quite on top of just killing him super quick like that, he'll like encase you in sand and will like slow you down and things like that. So just worth noting on that one. Now, how raiding in actually even your abilities used to work back in classic WoW, vanilla WoW, was you actually didn't just learn a skill once, you actually had to learn upgraded versions of those skills, and it was a gold sink. You would spend so much gold just learning your new skills, and eventually once you got to 60 as you raided, there were books that would drop in these raids that would teach you the best version of that skill in particular. So as you can see, like here we have the one for Priest, which is a Codex of Greater Heal. Obviously completely useless now, except it's kind of nice that it sells for 10 gold a pop. But yeah, so that was the thing, and you actually would be accepted or denied or barred from joining raiding groups if you, depending on if you had or did not have your better version or amplified version of that particular buff or skill, because it was typically always the buffs. It was like Battle Shout for warriors, heals and things like that, or Heroic Strike. So it was like one buff, and it was also like one of your main skill rotations, and it made a pretty significant difference. Now this is the room for the second boss in here. Basically you walk into the room to start the fight, and he actually sends ads after you, and you have to fight through these waves of ads. Again, just more time consuming and just more of a speed bump, I suppose, than anything else. But they do just kind of come one wave after the other. There's really no breaks in between. You don't have to initiate anything other than just walking in the room. So if for any reason you're waiting to start the fight, keep that in mind before you try walking into here. I think there's 6 waves of ads. Lore behind AQ 20 and 40, the Temple of Ahn'Qiraj and the Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj, is kind of cool, to where these Qiraji had been sleeping and slumbering behind these walls, locked away for quite some time, and then eventually somehow they were finding their way out of the walls and kind of into the rest of the world, and so the Bronze Dragonflight decided to step in and sort that out. So now we're here on behalf of the Bronze Dragonflight, trying to deal with the Qiraji, as they are hell-bent on taking over and destroying the world. Now this boss in particular drops something that's one of the more desirable transmogs that you'll come in here for. Didn't drop this time, but it's a two-handed sword that actually looks pretty cool for Unholy Death Knights, I think. There's a nice little zoom. It's got that kind of unholy looking effect to it, kind of decrepit, and it just looks kind of neat. Most of your gear in here is going to be blues with a few epic drops, because again, this was kind of to help your learning curve, along with kind of gearing up to get into raiding. As you can see, again, the trinket here for the ring that would drop for your class. We're going to keep moving forward. Now it is worth mentioning here, you're going to have 2 pathways to go. You're going to get one over here to your right, and then one to the left. You can go either way. It does not matter, because what you're going to look here on the map, you're going to have your pathways here and here. There's one boss over here, and then the final boss is here in the center. There's 2 bosses over to our left. And again, either way, you can actually just go right to the final boss. You don't. This isn't a linear raid to where you have to beat all the bosses to get to the final boss. You can just run right to him if you want. So we're just going to go this way and kind of take this boss over out here to the right. There's actually 2 of the bosses in here I believe are tameable by hunters. One is a pretty unique Qiraji beetle-looking guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he kind of has the cool effect where like top of his carapace is missing, and so like his like brain is sticking out. It looks kind of cool. Pretty aggressive-looking mount for hunters, and again, that's only tameable if you are a Beastmaster hunter. But that's half the fun of Beastmaster, is getting to tame pets that no one else can. Again, the only downside to this raid is again just how large it is. For so few bosses, it takes a while. You'll spend more time walking around like usual than you will actually like fighting bosses. Got a gold. Those are some pretty cool looking plate gauntlets. So you see we're picking up all these manuals just as a throwback to these skills. Codex of Greater Heal, Holy Light so for Paladins, Battle Shout for Warriors, and then also see Heroic Strike as well. So it was an interesting just way to do things. It definitely added a little bit of prestige to your character. Gave you a reason to get involved and get out there and actually progress through endgame content. You know, just very different in how the game operates now, to where now you learn your skill once and that's it, whereas leveling up back in vanilla WoW, you'd learn, say, Heroic Strike, and then 5 levels later, 7 levels later, so you'd learn Heroic Strike rank 2, and you have to go train for that, and it just costs so much gold in the long run. Now with this fight here is the final boss up here. We're just going to go ahead and hit him while we're here. Mechanics wise, he does have a buff that will increase his damage by 300%. So if you're freshly geared and not really comfortable with your class, I believe these here, what they do is you pop these up, and if you get him close enough to them, they take the buff off of him. But I've never, on any of my tunes running through here as fresh 90s in all greens and a few blues, or crafted PvP blues, I've never had a problem, so it's worth, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Peace. Yay, achievements. And same thing with all the other bosses we've covered so far from Vanilla WoW, Onyxia, Nefarian, Cthulhu. They drop an item that gives you a little quest here, so you can take it. This particular one to Cenarian Hold here in Silithus, and you get bragging rights and all that fun stuff. And this is also part of your quest for your class-specific weapon. I like how as Blizzard has added the weather effects into WoW, they've come back through a lot of these old places too, and they've updated the weather effects in here, so the sand gets pretty gnarly and blows through here pretty heavily. It's kind of cool. It's a state of perpetual night in here. This particular boss here, Aemus the Hunter, is probably the only one that will really give you any trouble if you are a non-ranged class. Simply because what she'll do is there's a mechanic where she'll pick you up, she'll stab you onto that altar, she'll leave you there, and if you don't have any bleeds or dots, you're kind of stuck there, which is a problem. Luckily for us, we're a shaman, so we've got some ranged, but again, not really too much of a need, as we just hit like a glass cannon. This boss has probably one of the coolest looking bows in the game. Oh, there it is right there. So yeah, pretty cool if you're a hunter. Worth coming in here to check out for that. Just has a cool, unique look to it that you really don't find anywhere else. It's not a traditional looking bow. Kind of has that rugged, I'm a master of the beasts look to it that kind of adds to the aesthetic of your class. And I believe she is also tameable as well. But I do not have a hunter that is past level 62, so I haven't been in here yet with him, so we'll confirm later. But yeah, other than her, everything else just kind of just steamroll through. Again, you'll probably spend more time just with trash here. But if you're looking to grind some Cenarian Circle Rep, this is a good place to come. Just hang out and go through, kill the ads, kill the bosses. Just come in every week. It doesn't take long at all. Especially if you come in with friends. Just plow through everything and you're done. And this will be the last boss we'll spend time on. Obviously not the last boss, but this is the last one that we have in here. Again, tameable by hunters is... Now, what I don't know and I can't confirm is if in order to get the version of him where his carapace is busted off, you have to wait and actually let it bust off in the fight, because if the fight lasts long enough, eventually it will bust off and he'll kind of go into ticked off boss mode. But I don't know if you have to wait for that to proc on him in order to get that version of it as a pet, or if it comes like that standard after you tame him. Either way, again, I don't have a hunter that's high enough level to come in here and do that, so I can't confirm or deny. Quick Google search or a YouTube video might be able to help you out with that. But other than that, that is the Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj. Again, very short, sweet, to the point. Nothing too crazy in here. Again, not a whole lot really, at least that I was ever really interested in for transmogs. I'm sure there's some stuff in here. That sword is pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, if you're just looking for a quick achievement run, then again, it won't take you long at all. If you're looking to pick up some enchanting for your lower level tunes, there's stuff that drops in here as well. But yeah, not a whole lot to it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is probably going to be the shortest video we have in this how to explore let's explore how to solo series, because after this, that is all of our classic raids and such done, and we are progressing now into Burning Crusade. So looking forward to getting that more and more content out for you guys. I hope you're enjoying it. Please do leave comments, thumbs up. Don't forget to share the video. It helps just kind of trying to raise subscribers and just get more people involved in what we're doing here. And then as always, I do love the feedback that I get from a lot of you, so please feel free to continue to keep that coming. As always, if you have any questions or requests, or if I didn't explain anything clear enough, please do feel free to send me a comment, and I will get back to that and address that as quickly as I can. But that should be it, and we'll see you guys next time.